Good evening, barflies and lounge lizards, and welcome to Glow in the Dark Cinema. And tonight we'll be discussing Colossus, the Forbin Project from 1970. Directed by Joseph Sargent of the Taking of Pelham 123 fame, Colossus, the Forbin Project is a sci-fi thriller, and tells the story of an advanced supercomputer known as Colossus, which is built to control the US's nuclear weapons systems. Colossus goes online and like 10 minutes later is already having issues. The celebration party is still going on even, but Colossus discovers another similar system in Russia and really wants to say howdy. The two computers are allowed to connect and, well, that's about the time the countries start to lose control as the computers gain sentience. And the more sentient Colossus becomes, the more power mad and controlling he gets. A little belligerent too. If this was a better YouTube channel, I would probably make some comparisons between the film and the current state of AI and say some smart, meaningful stuff, but the snack bar's not that deep. You're lucky I don't spend the entire episode going on about Andy Sedaris, John Carl Buechler, and Planet of the Apes. The film stars Eric Braeden as Dr. Forbin. You know, the guy with the project. And I'm sure you all know Braeden best from, wait for it, Escape from the Planet of the Apes. And that's 2 Apes references so far if you're counting. Then we have William Shallard as the director of the CIA. Shallard was a TV and film actor with some cool genre film work on his resume, including The Man from Planet X, Gog, and The Incredible Shrinking Man. But I always think of him first and foremost as Mr. Pomfret from Dobie Gillis or the dad from The Patty Duke Show. Next up is the great James Hong as a scientist. It's a small role with only a few lines, but it's James Hong. And James Hong always warrants a mention. Hong is a prolific actor with numerous memorable roles, including Big Trouble in China, Blade Runner, and Wayne's World 2. Talk about a national treasure. He has over 450 credits on his resume. And finally, I wanted to mention another treasure of cinema. Paul Frees as the voice of Colossus. A screen and voice actor, Frees lent his voice from everything from War of the Worlds to Rocky and Bullwinkle to the Haunted Mansion voiceover. Not to mention a whole bunch of movie trailers. Colossus the Forbin Project isn't effects heavy per se, but it features quite a bit of cool looking 60s era computers and terminals and things of the like. And these came courtesy of the Control Data Corporation, a computer company that agreed to let Universal use about $4.8 million worth of equipment and technicians free of charge just for the exposure. The visual effects in the film are credited to matte painter Albert Whitlock, who also worked on Willy Wonka, the Quester tapes, and The Thing. And let me tell you, that matte shot in the film, incredible. Colossus the Forbin Project was based on the 1966 novel Colossus by British sci-fi writer D.F. Jones. Initially, the film was meant to be called simply Colossus, like the book, but it was changed to the Forbin Project to avoid confusion with the Hercules films. It was originally released in May of 1970 and performed poorly. It was then re-released in August of 1970 under the title Colossus, the Forbin Project. Early in development, both Charlton Heston and Gregory Peck were eyed to star, but producer Stanley Chase wanted an unknown, and thus Braeden was chosen, who, at the time, was still using his German name of Hans Gudegast. And it's often said that James Cameron was a big fan of the film, and that's what led him to casting Braeden in that very famous boat movie he did. You know the one, McHale's Navy. The voice of Colossus, as mentioned, was by Paul Frees, but in order to get that sound, Frees' voice was run through a vocoder. Much like the novel, the film was originally set in the future, but soon they found that would be too expensive, thus the setting being changed to modern day. But even with that, production designer John J. Lloyd created a unique and almost futuristic look to the film with the props and control room. And finally, at one point a remake was in the works meant to star Will Smith. What a shame that didn't happen. The film score was by Michael Colombier, or Colombe? I have no idea. But this gentleman also did music for The Money Pit and the vastly underrated Who's Harry Crumb. It's a really unique score that kind of feels like a jungle movie set inside of a computer. Colossus the Forbin Project has been released on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, Laserdisc, and a floppy disk that will try to destroy you and/or watch you undress. This is a really unique, intense film that reminded me quite a bit of the creation of the humanoids, albeit with a much higher budget. But that same sort of intrigue and excitement generated through dialogue rather than action is very much present. Interestingly, as intense as the film is, it does offer some almost whimsical moments of respite as Colossus gains more and more sentience and starts taking over his creator, Dr. Forbin's life. I've had this one recommended many times, but it was the Greyhawk Grognard over on his Starbase Nerdtron channel that convinced me to finally give it a watch. Do check out his video as well. And that's all the time we have for this week. Please like, comment, subscribe, watch the skies, and stay atomic.
The computer. Startlingly fast. Incredibly precise. And now from Magnavox comes the first computer TV. Touch Tune color television. Touch Tune and lock in computer sharp color, computer fast, even by remote. Computer reliability in a wide range of prices and styles. Star System Touch Tune color television from Magnavox.
A ghoul leaps out and attacks you. What do?
I attack it with my sword. Come out, thee creature!
Explore the role-playing game where fantasy comes to life with magic, monsters, and endless options. Adventures Dark and Deep. Available now at adventuresdarkanddeep.com.
Somewhere back at the dawn of history, man discovered roast duck. Man's next discovery, the stuffy stomach. Centuries will pass before he discovers something to unstuff it. When he does, he will call it Alka-Seltzer. Its bubbly alkalizers will neutralize his stuffy stomach. Too late for him, but not too late for us.
You're looking at a small portable computer called the IBM 5100. It's helping a lot of different people do their work more productively.
Managing real estate investments entails many difficult decisions. Do I pay it now or later? What about the landscaping? Can we afford it? What about taxes? There are many, many difficult decisions to make. It's really nice having a computer to help.
It weighs about 50 pounds. You can plug it in anywhere.
Bad weather, late deliveries, construction delays of all kinds. How is it going to affect our schedule? Now we can find that out fast.
The 5100 can help handle some very complex information.